Kia is looking to get more into the hybrid game with its all-new Niro. With crossover sales booming more than they ever did before and an uncertain future of gas prices, a crossover hybrid would totally make sense for it to be a sales hit. So is the new Niro competitive in a class of hybrid crossovers? Well, let's go ahead and find out and take a closer look at this 2017 Kia Niro. Now the first thing you'll notice about the Niro here is that it doesn't scream or shout out that it's a hybrid, which some people may love. And it looks like a traditional type of crossover, taking some styling cues from Kia's own Sportage, especially on the front end of the vehicle. You also do have Kia's Tiger Nose front grille, which looks pretty nice. And when you get to the rear of the vehicle, you also do have LED tail lights. Now our trim of the Niro we have here is a pretty loaded one. It's the touring trim, comes nicely equipped with full-on leather seats. You also do have a sunroof and some pretty nice looking LED daytime running lights. Now the Niro is an all-new model from Kia and it only comes in a hybrid. If you want a gas engined crossover that's similar in size to the Niro, then I suggest getting the Sportage. Now here goes the key fob design for the vehicle. You have your lock, unlock to release your trunk, and then your panic alarm. Now this color is known as the Snow White Pearl. You also do have smart key access on the driver's door and the front passenger door. And on the inside here, you also do have a full-on black leather interior, but Kia calls it their charcoal. You also do have a power driver's seat with power recline and power lumbar. Now stepping on the inside of the Niro here, the first thing that you'll notice is that the cabin design is pretty simple, a little on the utilitarian side, but still pretty nice. And the step-in height is really low inside of this vehicle. It's almost feels like you're stepping inside of a car rather than a crossover. And the doors open really wide, which I like. It's just really easy to get in and out of the Niro here. And you do have push button ignition. Just put your foot on the brake and hit the button to start. And you have a full leather wrap steering wheel. Coming to your transmission, what's not hybrid like is that the Niro here has a 6-speed dual clutch automatic transmission, and you also do have manual shiftability. Usually hybrids will have a CVT automatic, but Kia goes with a 6-speed here. When you put the vehicle into reverse, this displays your rear view camera with guidance lines, and you also do have trajectory. No paddle shifters here though. And let's go ahead and turn on the headlights. You also do have your fogs and the hazards. Let's go ahead and check out the exterior of the Niro. Automatic driver's side window and automatic front passenger window. Let's go and pop up the hood and check out the engine bay. Heated exterior mirrors with LED turn signal indicators, and you also do have blind spot detection. You also do have 18-inch alloy wheels, which look pretty good. Coming up front here, halogen projector beam headlights with LED accenting lights, and you also do have LED daytime running lights located right here, as well as halogen fogs and front parking sensors. Now the Niro here comes with a 1.6 liter inline 4-cylinder engine paired with an electric motor. The electric motor itself produces 43 horsepower. The 1.6 liter inline 4-cylinder combined with the electric motor produces 139 horsepower at 5,700 RPM and 195 pound-feet of torque at 4,000 RPM, with EPA estimates being a very excellent 46 in the city and 40 on the highway. Now you can only go for front wheel drive on the Niro. There's no all-wheel drive available, despite this being a crossover, which may be a deal breaker for some. But if you are looking for all-wheel drive, Toyota has it available on the RAV4 hybrid, or you could go with Kia's own Sportage. Now the Niro here pretty much has two main competitors it competes with. This includes the Ford CMAX hybrid, and you can also look at the Toyota RAV4 hybrid. Coming to the rear, you do have LED taillights, rear window wiper, LED third brake light. Not a bad looking rear end. It certainly doesn't shout out that it is a hybrid. And you do have rear parking sensors too. EPA estimates, like I said, 46 city, 40 highway. Final assembly point for this vehicle is unsurprisingly in Korea, and the total vehicle price is $31,120. You have all of your basic power necessities, including power windows, power door locks, and your power mirrors. They also do power fold and memory seat settings for 2 people. Now, interior quality in the Niro here isn't too bad. It's certainly one of the best in the class. Definitely a lot better than the Toyota RAV4. And given the price point of this vehicle, it's not too bad. But you do have soft touch materials on the upper door panel, mid door panel, and the armrest. Nice stitching too. On top of the dashboard, it's also soft touch. And not many panel gaps inside of here, unlike the Toyota RAV4, which has some panel gaps. But overall, for the most part, everything feels pretty sturdy. I mean, interior quality shouldn't be a huge issue for the Niro here. Coming to the steering wheel design, decent looking steering wheel. You do have your Bluetooth phone controls, steering wheel mounted audio controls, as well as your voice recognition. And over here, you also do have your cruise control buttons, as well as your controls for the information center, which I will get to in just a minute. Manually dimming rearview mirror, sunglass container, and map lights. You also have your sunroof with your sunroof controls. And down here you will find a USB charging port, auxiliary input, and 2 12-volt power outlets. You also do have your parking sensors off and on button right there. And you'll also find heated and ventilated front seats, 3-staged for the driver and the front passenger, as well as a heated steering wheel, dual cup holders, and decent amount of center console storage with a USB charging port. The seats in the Niro are firm, but they're pretty well supportive. You will find plenty of thigh support. And overall, I certainly would take a long road trip in this vehicle, but I wish the seats were slightly more plush. You also do have your glove box compartment too. Now, coming to the climate controls, you do have dual zone automatic climate control. You have your temperatures, as well as your fan speeds and your different zones. Pretty easy and simple to figure out. Pretty logical layout here, and I love how Kia went with traditional knobs and buttons. Coming to the main infotainment system and head unit, this is the Kia Yuvo system. We've seen it many times here before. It does feature Apple CarPlay and Android Auto capability, which is a really nice feature nowadays. And you also do have your climate functions that you could control from here if you don't want to do it by the buttons down here. And this is your home screen. You could configure the home screen how you would like. And coming to your different audio sources, you do have AM, FM, and Sirius XM satellite radio, and you do have HD radio. And you also do have Bluetooth streaming audio. If you want to go to your external media devices, you just click on media right here. And then you also do have your USB port with iPod integration and your auxiliary input. Also does feature navigation if you do have the SD card inserted. And then we do have your phone too.
Turn Bluetooth on from your device in order to search on your device.
And when you hook up your Bluetooth phone, you can have all of your contacts stored on here, as well as an integrated dial pad. Coming to your setup, there's many different settings that you could change, from the Wi-Fi, voice recognition, Bluetooth, the sound display, all that good stuff. And you have your Yuvo e-services, which gives you your roadside assistance, vehicle diagnostics, My Car Zone, your parking minder, your points of interest, your own points of interest, and your e-services guide. And then you also do have your seek and track button right here. But I do love this head unit here because it's very responsive, lightning quick, and it's pretty easy to use once you get the hang of it. But I really do like how it features Android Auto and Apple CarPlay capability. Over here we also do have your blind spot detection button and your traction control off. Coming to your gauges and the instrument cluster. Over here on the left you'll find your charge, eco, and your power, and the needle will show you what mode you're in, which is pretty cool. And you do have your fuel range as well as your fuel gauge, and then it also shows you if you're in EV mode or not. And then on the right, of course, you have your speedometer. And in the center you'll find your driver information center, which gives you all of your vehicle information, including your driving assistance, such as your driving style. Gives you if you're in economical, it gives you a percentage if you're in economical, normal, or aggressive, which is cool. And you also do have your digital speedometer, your trip information, average fuel economy, and it gives you your energy flow too. And then it gives you turn-by-turn directions for your nav, your audio source, shows you what audio source is playing, and then your tire pressure, service intervals, your engine temperature. And then your user settings that you could change, from door, light, sound, convenience, service interval, and other features too. And you could reset the settings. And also down here you will find your exterior temperature readout as well as your odometer. Now, just like with many other Hyundai and Kia hybrids, the Niro here doesn't drive like a typical hybrid, and that's mostly because of this 6-speed automatic we have here. And since it doesn't use a traditional CVT for a hybrid, it's really nice because it doesn't drone, nor does it hesitate to shift, and that's what most people love about Kia and Hyundai hybrids. Now, the handling also feels pretty buttoned down for the most part, and it feels much more like a traditional car rather than a hybrid. And also the ride quality is pretty comfortable overall, a little on the firm side, but it's pretty comfortable for the most part, and the highway ride is pretty quiet. And you can't beat these fuel economy estimates. I mean, 46 in the city and 40 on the highway is pretty good, and that's much better than the Toyota RAV4 hybrid. Now, also, the 1.6 liter 4-cylinder paired with the electric motor provides enough power for this vehicle, but it can feel a little anemic at times, but overall it's not too shabby. But if you're looking for a hybrid crossover that drives more like a traditional type of car, then the Niro here would certainly be a perfect fit. Alright, now let's go ahead and shut down the Niro. Let's go and check out the rest of the vehicle. What I also love about the Niro is that there's actually lots of space inside of here, despite this being a pretty small little car. Interior quality does follow through in the rear. Now you're probably asking, where does Kia hide the battery pack inside of the Niro? And it's actually under the rear seat rather than in the cargo area, which is pretty cool. You also do have split folding rear seats, 60-40 split. Sitting back here in the Niro, decent amount of legroom, and headroom isn't too shabby. And you'll also find dual map pockets, rear air vents, and a rear center armrest with cup holders. This is actually just as comfortable as many other competitors, such as the Ford CMAX hybrid and the Toyota RAV4. Plenty of space back here for a small little family. All right. Cargo space isn't too bad, but like I said, the Niro is more of a hatchback rather than a crossover. The Toyota RAV4 does offer more cargo space, even though it does give up some fuel efficiency. But like I said, the rear seats do fold down, 60-40 split. If you're looking for more cargo space and that's a main priority for you, look at the Toyota RAV4 hybrid or go with Kia's own Sportage. So with its impressive fuel efficiency, its roomy interior, and its unhybrid-like qualities, the 2017 Kia Niro is an excellent choice for a hybrid crossover. So remember that this is Cameron Birch from Cameron's Car Reviews.